Hey everybody, welcome back to the Chaotic Little Book Corner. My name's Acacia. Today we're going to be doing my October book haul, which will either be part one or the only part. I am not sure yet. So I have got some audiobooks, some book of the month books, some books I picked up myself, some books I was sent by publishers, and some books I was sent by subscribers and Patreons. I'm very excited to dive in. Let's begin with audiobooks. I picked all these audiobooks up on Libro.fm. I will link it down below in the cards. Not in the cards. I will just link it down below in the description box. Sorry. So there were 3 books that I picked up that were free as an affiliate. The first one was The Little Weirds by Jenny Slate. It was more of I thought it was nonfiction, but it was more of a vignette section of comical, weird, strange, obscure and kind of crude stories. I enjoyed it. It had a lot of praise from a lot of comedians, and I see why. It was definitely right up there with a lot of the comedians I really enjoy. It had that comedy element that I like, so I was very happy with it. If you're not a fan of John Mulaney or who else? Ali Wong, I wouldn't recommend them. I wouldn't recommend it, but if you like those 2 comedians, I think it would be a really good fit. How We Fight for Our Lives by Siad Jones. That is a nonfiction written about a young man who is a gay man and Hispanic, and I read it. I didn't process much of it because I didn't love it. I felt it was overhyped and oversold. I think it's a really good story, and it's a really valuable voice in society that I think is great. So I'm not faulting it for that. I just think it could have been written better. I didn't love the writing style. So there's that. Then I pre-ordered Ordinary Girls, and that I received as an early release, and I haven't gotten it yet because it will download the 29th of October. That one is about a young Hispanic girl and mental health, and that's a nonfiction as well. So I'm very excited about that for Nonfiction November. Then I picked up myself The Furies by Katie Lau. I picked that up in hard copy from the UK. It was on its way. I couldn't wait. I wanted to read it in October, so I just downloaded it on Libro.fm, and I'm very happy I did. I really enjoyed it. And then the other book I picked up was Ali Wong's memoir, or essay collection, I should say, called Dear Girls, which is a bunch of letters that she wrote to her daughters. I'm excited to read that as a voice option in Nonfiction November, so that is going to be a thing, and I'm super stoked about it because I really enjoy Ali Wong. Then we have my Book of the Month books, which I really love them. I usually get 2 or 3 just because they're $14.99 for the first one and then $9.99 for the rest, and they're all hardcover. So the first pick was an add-on. This is Stephen Chbosky's Imaginary Friend. I read this. I loved it. I gave it 5 stars. A lot of people haven't liked it as much. I'm not sure why. I haven't seen an argument that I understand yet. Or that I agree with, I should say. So I get that people don't like it, but I really enjoyed it and I would recommend it. Then this one was a pick that was an add-on. This is Ta-Nehisi Coates' The Water Dancer. This one I'm very excited about. It has magical realism elements, and it's about slavery. So I am super curious about this, and I think it's going to be a lot of not fun, but a lot of work, and it's going to be really worth the payoff. Then I have Nothing to See Here by Kevin Wilson. I read Kevin Wilson's Big Little World, and I read that with Mercedes, whose channel I will link up in the cards, and we had similar thoughts. We didn't love it. We thought it was a little bit info dumpy. This one is going to be about a child who's being nannied who tends to spontaneously combust. I think it's a little magical realism, science fiction-y stuff, and I'm really curious about it. Then the books that I've purchased myself this month, or I should say my partner purchased. This is a first edition signed of The Dutch House by Ann Patchett. I was not going to pick this up until paperback, but then I saw that I could get a signed first edition, and so I caved. This is a book that I know very little about. I have very little information about it, and I'm okay with that. I really enjoy Ann Patchett, and I like going into her books with not knowing much because I think she does a better job just kind of leading you in and feeling it out. So I'm very excited about this. This book I read in the first half of October, but I forgot to put it into my wrap-up, so I'm going to put it into my wrap-up for the second half of October. This is Know My Name by Chanel Miller. This is the story of a woman who was known as Emily Doe, who was the sexual assault survivor of Brock Turner, who was sentenced to only 6 months in prison after she was found on the Sanford campus having been sexually assaulted. And this is her story of the trial and how that went and how she feels and everything. And I really loved it. This one was a rebuy. I sold this years ago and I've always regretted this. Sophie Kinsella. This is Confessions of a Shopaholic. I love these books. They're just so much fun, easy to read, and just super lightweight. If anyone wants me to continue the series, I'm more than happy to. Just let me know if you want to see more. If this isn't your cup of tea, then that's totally fine, and I'll read them, but I won't bring them up. This is just sort of fun. I love these. They're just really interesting. And they talk about debt and relationships with fashion and all that. So it's right up my alley. I really love it. Then I picked up this. It took me long enough. This is The Memory Police by Yoko Ogawa. This one is super interesting. It is about a young girl who is a writer whose editor is under surveillance by the memory police, and she is trying to help him escape so that he doesn't get arrested for what he believes he knows and remembers. So this is going to be really good. I'm very excited about it. On my blog, it was on my list of most anticipated reads to come. I will link that blog down below so you guys can check out that blog post. Then I have Hysterical, Why We Need to Talk About Women, Hormones, and Mental Health by Eleanor Morgan. This is going to be a nonfiction November read under the option of truth. I'm very excited about this. I went into this thinking it was just going to be about hysteria, but it is actually talking about women and their control of their bodies and their minds and anxiety and PMS and depression and bodily functions and cycles. I'm really interested in this, and I think it's going to be a really good feminist nonfiction. Then I picked this one up. I found it cheap, so I was very excited. This is It by Stephen King. I've read part of this, most of it, all of it, I can't remember, before, but I recently saw the second half of it, and I knew how it ended, so I wasn't really shocked by the movie. But I'd forgotten the first part of it, so there was a whole bunch that I missed. I want to reread it before I watch the first movie and pick up the first and second movie. But it's kind of big. It's kind of big. So I've started reading it. I'm into it. And we shall see how I feel. I know it jumps back and forth a lot. That was my partner's complaint, but I don't usually have an issue with that, so we'll see how that goes. Then these two were sent to me for review by the publisher. This is Memoirs of a Ex-Prom Queen by Alex Cates Shulman. This was published in 1972, and then it was republished this year. I believe it was republished because it talks about things like job discrimination, double standards of sexuality, and harassment in the 1950s and 60s, and I think it's still very relevant and has a lot of meaning to today's Me Too movement. So we'll read that in November, I think. Yeah, I think, is it nonfiction? It was sent to me by Picador, by the way. I will will have to look up if that's nonfiction or not. This is Girl by Eden O'Brien. This was sent to me by FCG or Farstras Girox. There we go. This one I'm very excited about. It's going to be really weird. It's about a woman who is abducted and then taken through Nigeria, and it's supposed to be pretty horrific. I am up for it, and I'm really excited about it, so I'm very stoked that they sent that to me, especially a final copy. Then this was sent to me by a subscriber. I don't know who. I don't know why. I have no idea. This is The Bell Jar by Sylvia Plath. It's my favorite book of all time. This is the copy I really wanted. I'm super happy, but I don't know who sent it because there was no card or anything. So if you know who sent it or you sent it yourself, go ahead and comment down below or email me privately if you don't want people to know. That's fine too. This was sent to me by a subscriber and a Patreon. This is Where the Crawdad Sings by Della Owens. I read this and I enjoyed it. This is the story of, I want to call her Kaya, who is called the Marsh Girl, and she is unliked by her community, and they believe that something has gone wrong and it's her fault. So it's a pretty good book. It's definitely got that southern charm and heat. I really liked how it went down, and I would recommend it. That is going to fall. Then I picked up 2 graphic novels. The first one is Snot Girl. This is by Brian Lee O'Malley and Leslie Hung. I am really excited about this. I believe it's about a woman. Lottie Person is a glamorous fashion blogger who lives her best life. At least that's what she wants to think. The truth is her allergies are out of control. Her friends are terrible people. Her boyfriend traded her up for someone younger, and she may or may not have killed somebody. It's the first volume of Snot Girl, and things will never be the same. I'm really excited. This is going to be great. I'm super stoked. I should read that pretty quick, because I read the last... that fell. I read the last graphic novel I got, which is this. This is the first episode of Harleen, which is going to be coming out in its full series in February of 2020, around the same time of Birds of Prey. Harley Quinn, I love her. You can see her right there. She's behind me, and she's pink. You can see her right behind me, and she's pink. So this is the story of her beginning. This is her before she turned to Harley Quinn. This is Harleen Quinzel, the therapist. So this is about mental health and insanity and crazy and all of that. So I really liked it, and I will be reviewing it in this month's wrap-up. So that is all the books that I have received and bought and used and so on and so forth for October. And yeah, I post videos every Tuesday and Thursday. I would love to see you guys on this channel more. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you loved it, click that subscribe button down below. I will talk to you soon. Thank you to my Patreons. I love you all greatly. I love you, my subscribers. I will see you in the next video, and I'll talk to you there. Bye.